Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of the Blacklist Season 9, Episode 6, Dr. Roberta Sand. Now, this may be the final episode of this calendar year, but you know what? We should all have a big ol' smile on our face. Okay, I ain't gonna do that. That looks creepy. But you know what? If you have a beverage near you, toast to it, have a drink, celebrate. We have content, everyone, for the first time in a while, like big time content.
A lot of us have been waiting for that moment that they were gonna have some sort of real connection to the first 8 seasons of the show. Tonight we got it. I got something that I had personally really wanted that was a part of our review from the season 8 finale that I was particularly upset about, and they delivered on some of that tonight. It was so good. I mean, it wasn't exactly the way that I wanted it, but I am really happy about it. This episode was great.
Yeah, I don't think this is hyperbolic to say this is the best episode of the season because clearly it is.
No, it is.
All right, well, you know what? Before we go any further here, why not just hit that subscribe button now? Because especially now that the Blacklist is going into a higher gear, we are going to be here discussing any and all things related to the show, previews, reviews. You guys know the drill, but hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything we're bringing to you.
Also, be sure to follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Just TV. We already have a bunch of pictures up there of holiday stuff. We're going to have a whole bunch more Christmassy type holiday fun coming up, so make sure you follow us over there.
Okay. I can't wait.
Okay, we can't wait. Okay, listen, I know that we should maybe be going in order of the episode. We'll start a little bit with that. With the fact that we had Reddington and Agnes spending much more time together, and it feels like it's a lot more regular. And then Agnes drops this bomb, and it was so well done. I love the way that it came out. They're playing a memory game, naming states and capitals, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry. I know that you won't be able to know this because you're Russian." I was just like, what's happening here? Oh my God.
Listen, first of all, Agnes, if you ever want a real challenge with this, come to me. I had a whole jingle for these state capitals when I was really young. I was very good in geography. That is my humble brag for this video. But
you
okay.
Still are.
All right, no. This whole reveal, she knows that Reddington is Russian. And like just the moment that she said that, like I think both of us just like spontaneously combusted because it's like, how is this possible? How is this a thing?
Oh, yeah. And watching Reddington's face try to stay composed, but you could see it all over his face where he was just like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? So good.
Yeah.
James Spader's always good, but this particular episode, he had a lot of moments and I was like, just drive all the Emmys up to his house. Just drive him up.
Yeah, and I think he was so caught off guard by a lot of this, and I think we were so caught off guard by a lot of this, and just like Spader's reaction, that then the Blacklist, of course, does the typical Blacklist thing, which is torture us for another 10 minutes and leave us like speculating about how in the world like this could be that Reddington could know.
We were sitting around being like, could it be Mrs. French that told her? Was it the fake Katerina? Did Liz actually know something? And then it all comes out that the letter that Dembe was supposed to give Liz after she kills him, she actually got it beforehand, so she knew before she died the truth. That was what I wanted. That was what I was hoping for. I mean, originally I was hoping to see that actual just sit-down conversation with Reddington and Liz where he would just tell her everything. I really wanted to see that. But this is good too. I just wanted her to have not gone through 8 seasons to die not knowing confirmed for herself. It's confirmed for herself.
Listen, if you guys watched our review of the Blacklist Season 8 finale, where we basically took that episode, put it in the oven, set the oven to broil, and just like disintegrated it into the sun, like I think our number one criticism of that terrible episode was just like, it felt so unsatisfying that we went on this long journey with Liz, and Liz didn't really get any answers. And as annoying as it was for us to not get answers, I think we both felt like Liz deserved to get answers. And it is much more satisfying knowing in some way that she got them. Yes, it wasn't on camera, but still, I can breathe a little easier.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I want all of us to know as well. And yes, there are some theories out there that Red is actually Katarina, and there are lots of fans out there that do believe that that is the answer and that answer has been confirmed, but it hasn't been like confirmed in a way that someone has actually said that this is it. It was a lot of imagery and different things that you can interpret as that. I wanted it to be said. Yeah. However, if it's not going to be said to all of us yet, I can wait for something like that. As long as Liz knows we were on this journey with her for her to get answers, I am glad that she got those answers. However, we had this moment with Reddington where he was kind of like, man, if she didn't know beforehand, then, you know, maybe she would still be alive. I don't think so. I personally think that whether she read that letter, knew the truth, didn't know the truth, she was never going to really be able to pull the trigger on Reddington because she loves him. She already had that opportunity in that episode with Anne. She had the opportunity. Yeah. She had the gun pointed and couldn't do it because she loves him. So I think that Reddington is mistaken in that. I think no matter what, she was never going to be able to do it. That love was just too deep.
It's something that I think we've talked about this for a really long time here at the channel, that yes, the Blacklist is a show about, you know, weird characters and explosions and bad guys and all that, but I think fundamentally it is a love story, and there's a lot of different ways that love can manifest itself. There's familial love, there's platonic love, romantic love, but it's really, it's about all of these different things, and it's about untangling what love, I think, means to Raymond Reddington, who goes for decades on end to protect Liz and to ensure that she's safe. And that's why, you know, fundamentally, yes, it is very fun to have the big debates over who Reddington really is and the identity, but I think ultimately the fact that he loves Liz and wants to protect her, like, that was really kind of enough in a way. It didn't matter who Reddington was, and I think that's why Reddington was so just reluctant to lead off with the, hey, I'm insert name here, because to him it's sort of like a, who cares? I'm here now. I'm here for you. Shouldn't that just be enough?
Now we've got everything that's going to be going on between Dembe and Reddington. So for those of you, including me, that wanted to see the two of them reconcile and work things out, I think that that ship has sailed at this point. There was a while there I was actually thinking that Dembe had given her the letter and that's why they had the falling out. I actually thought that maybe Reddington already knew, because that's a betrayal that's like friendship ending for sure. That's a betrayal I couldn't see them ever getting past. So now that we're here, I'm kind of like still like, what is it? Why did they have this falling out? What could be worse than that?
I'm gonna guess, and we really don't know anything about this, but I still think maybe it's still involved in some sort of weird way. Like, obviously Reddington didn't know about what Dembe did here with this betrayal. This was just obviously learned in this episode, but you know, maybe Dembe, because Dembe did talk a little bit about sort of guilt and regret and that sort of thing, and I sort of took it in the episode as like a, okay, maybe he just regrets killing person X, Y, or Z, but it's like, now that we're kind of talking it out, like, I don't know necessarily he regrets giving the letter to Liz, but maybe he regrets some of the circumstances that went into it. I think he probably feels fine giving the letter to Liz. Like, I don't think he did that out of any sort of malice to Reddington. I don't think he did that because he wanted to betray him, but I think Dembe is sort of the vessel of us in a weird sort of way, where I think Dembe was sort of like, you know what? Liz deserves to know the truth. I don't have this deep attachment or paranoia about it that Reddington does. I know that maybe Dembe knew the whole time that Liz wasn't going to be able to kill her. I don't know, but he felt like in the end she should just know.
He has been saying it for a while that he feels he hasn't always agreed with how Reddington handled the secret and felt that he should tell her and that should just be out on the table. And it's been sort of the one sticking point between Dembe and Reddington for a while, where Dembe was kind of like, you should really do this. And Reddington's like, no. And Dembe's like, all right, I don't agree, but we'll keep on trucking along. That clearly they got to a point where Dembe just couldn't stop with this anymore. He was just like, okay, now we're getting to this point that if Dembe knows his true identity, which it has been said on the show that he does. We don't really know how much he knows, how much Reddington
like he does.
He knows some. He may know everything. Nothing's been confirmed 100% of how much he knows. But if he knows that Reddington was, say, a family member, he may not have been able to live with himself, knowing that, not telling Liz, and letting Liz kill her father, mother, brother, cousin, whoever he is, that she hadn't had biological family with her, and then to do that and then find out. I sort of have been in the camp of like, how would Liz be able to function after that?
Yeah.
In her own mind, in her own heart, it may have been something that she couldn't have lived with.
Like, I agree with that, and that's why I think one of the big issues we had with Reddington's whole construct, that plan at the end of season 8 anyway, where it's kind of mean to have Liz kill him and then find out by the way, I'm this person who you would have never wanted to kill in a million years. Like, I would live have survived any of that. And listen, Red Arena fans, I know you all are about to be very, very mad at me, but you know what? I don't really care. I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, I still don't believe that we have proof. I know there's going to be a lot of Red Arena people who view this twist tonight as some sort of like evidence or concrete proof that, okay, because Liz was thinking what she did when she died, this must mean that Reddington is Katarina. That is the interpretation. If that's meant to be the truth, I still think that they would have just come out and said that to some degree. I think they still want some debate. You're not wrong for believing that. I respect you for believing that. I'm not there. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I may just live in a cave of denial with this.
The only thing I am going to say is that letter and envelope look like they are in very good shape. I mean, when he was like, oh, this is a letter from your mother sort of thing, it's like, okay, well, if you're not the mother, then what have you been carrying this letter around for like 10, 20, 30 years? Like, how long have you been carrying this letter around for? This letter shouldn't look this good. So I'll just put that out there. I'm not a believer that Reddington is her mother. However, there is a lot of smoke around that.
Yeah.
I just want the show to be straight up with everybody and not leave things up to interpretation. We've all been on this journey a very long time, and I think that we will deserve answers. I think we all deserve answers. For right now, though, I'm just going to say that I'm really glad that Liz got answers, and I'm really glad that the show didn't just leave this hanging and be like, oh, we're in a new era now. We all moving on. Let's forget that this ever happened.
Yeah, I like that we're now in an era where I can sort of see and understand the timeline a little bit better, where I feel like, you know, in the sort of picture I have in my head now, I guess, is that Dembe did this betrayal, and then maybe in the months that followed, maybe Dembe felt, you know, guilt for keeping it from Reddington, or just felt disconnected from him on some way, and maybe that opened up a rift, and maybe that rift, even if Red didn't know why it was happening, maybe that sort of caused some of the events that happened where Dembe is now on this different path, which, by the way, Blacklist writers, you still didn't tell us what's in the stinking box. We had that reveal last week, and you guys just, like, completely thought we would forget about it, right? Didn't you?
I think, yes, I still want to know what's in the box as well, but I think it may just be we're not going to learn what's in the box, that it really is just about the idea of Reddington saying, once you open the box, we're done, and he opened the box. So I think that's kind of really what it is. Anything that's in the box doesn't matter as much as that moment that he decided to open the box, knowing that it meant the end of their relationship. But I mean, even if he didn't open the box, this is the end of the relationship now anyways. It's just real sad.
No, Dembe is now swimming in a sea of deep doo-doo at this point. It's like, how in the world do you get out of this, where Reddington has killed people for a whole lot less? And let me just say, I don't want to see Reddington kill Dembe, and now I am, like, seriously concerned about it.
I don't think they're going to get there. And my hope is actually Roberta Sand. The fact that we went through this whole thing with her as a blacklister, that she is this sort of therapist to the criminals and the mob. And we saw Reddington at the end offer her this deal to spend 3 months with him and to really help him heal and get past things. He has said he's been all over the world. He's had all these different people try to help him, and he thought he had a quiet in him, but he really didn't. He's not healed. He's not past everything yet. And now he's got this on his plate on top of it, that Liz knew the truth. And is that the reason she didn't want to pull the trigger? He will never know that.
No, he will never know that, and I think the thing he obviously needs right now is someone to help him talk through a lot of this. And I think a part of the real irony in so much of this is we often see Reddington, give the task force these blacklisters when he has some sort of ulterior motive. Like, I don't think Reddington even understood how important this ulterior motive was until this case was already underway, which, by the way, I could forget about 90% of this case. I really didn't care about the mob at all, and kind of like the stereotypical, well, you think you're better than me writing that we've heard.
And let's get this rat.
Yeah, it's like
okay.
No, all of that, just throw it somewhere and you don't have to look at it or think about it. But yeah, we got to a good, important ending with this character.
Yeah, and we also got some stuff on Park and her husband. Seems like, they're still having marriage difficulties. They're kind of working it out. And then we've got everything that's happening with Cooper. Oh my goodness. Cooper got a great story this season. I'm so happy for it.
This is how we're having a good Blacklist discussion here, guys, because this is minute 17 of this video.
I know, and I'm only bringing Cooper up now.
I know, and it just means that we have so much good stuff. And it's like, Cooper, you're not like a B or C story. This is really important. It's just, this was a very important episode. So Cooper thinks that he's screwed. He knows what the report is going to come back as, that he knows, okay, everything happened with this particular firearm, but then lo and behold, here comes Lou with this, it looks like this was not the murder weapon after all.
Wink, wink, let me help you out.
I thought in this moment that, and this is the Blacklist doing a good job sort of throwing me for a loop, I thought where they were going was that this guy was going to show up in a week or show up in a few episodes and be like, yo, Cooper, I need you to do me a salad. I killed this guy. Can you go and bury him for me? I thought they were doing something like that.
And I think you still might be right about that in a lot of ways. The way that he was kind of acting, where he was like, oh, look, the report came back and you're okay. You still haven't thanked me yet, but you're welcome. I was just kind of like, okay, these guys have been friends for a while, so it's possible he's doing him a solid, but why would he go that far to cover something like that up? We got that weird call at the end of the episode, basically being like, I have photographic evidence of this. I have a recording of the call. Oh, you have a recording of the call? Lou. I think that it was all sort of set up by this guy, and that if it's not just him, it's him and someone else.
I'm going to take a wild guess as to who that someone else is, mostly because I will not let this theory go, apparently. I've been obsessed about it for like a year. Panna Baker. I'm not done with you yet. I think you're up to some shadiness. You were super mean to our guy Cooper earlier this season. I just wonder if you're just sort of like, oh, I don't know if I can get you here with this, Cooper, so I'm going to find another way. I'm going to go and hire Lou, and he's going to hop, skip, and jump over there and do it. That sounded like Ted Lasso more than it sounded like a Panna Baker.
It's possible. I think that, there was some animosity there. There's something really, bad going on there. I think that that's probably a pretty good guess. I've seen in the comments some people think that's Reddington, setting up Cooper to send him to jail so he can get Agnes. I'm not down with that theory. I don't think that makes any sense because the guardianship would just pass over to Cooper's wife. It's not going to just go over to Reddington. It's not going to work like that. And they're both giving him lots of access to Agnes. It looks like they're hanging out on the regular.
I can just imagine this scene, though, where it's like child services was picking up Agnes, or they're looking at the documents. It's like, it says here that your next person to go to is a Pinky. That's all it has on there. It's just
or
Pinky.
Worse, it's, the next person to go to is on the top 10 most wanted list. Okay.
That sounds great. That sounds fun. No, okay, this is really, if there's a couple of nitpicks I can give in this episode. Wrestlers apparently drug test and all that. I guess we're supposed to just forget about all that for now. It's fine.
Yeah, seems to be that's it.
All right. And then Aram, you are my guy, Aram. I love you, and you're one of my favorite non-Reddington characters. Apparently, still, it has been determined that, like, other than that little bit with your family and your company, that, like, you're never going to get another sizable storyline again. It's just like, what gives, guys? Give my boy Aram some love.
It has been 3 episodes in a row where Aram's only purpose is to go up to other characters and be like, hey, are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah.
How about you, Cooper? Are you all right? I've only asked you 3 times. Like, it's just, he really needs something to do.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, please give him something to do.
If I wanted to watch a Blacklist character go up to people and ask, how can I help? I would watch New Amsterdam. Thank you very much. I'm just saying. Okay. Well, anyway, this episode was good, dramatic.
It was wonderful.
Lots of really great stuff to happen. I'm sure we probably won't know Reddington's identity until the series finale because they hate us.
I'm fine with that. I can wait. I am on the journey. I'm on the journey till the end, till the wheels fall off. So take me on the journey. Let's go.
I'm just happy the journey is a lot more fun now. And
man, it was such a good episode tonight.
You know how we mentioned at the start of this, everybody needs to take their beverage? I'm going to go get a beverage, and we're going to get you guys' thoughts on the Blacklist Season 6, or Season 9, Episode 6. This is what happens as we get later and later. It just get loopy.
Yep.
Let us know in the comments. Give this video a like. Subscribe for more updates. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next time.